iOS integration? That's what OpenAI bought you on the 5th day of innovation. Remember when I said Sundar Pichai and Google had to come up with something really amazing? They did. And don't click the link. Avoid package delivery text scams. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. If you've lost track of where Apple is on its AI integration, you are not alone. And frankly, that might include the people who work for Apple. There were rumors of an OpenAI and Apple partnership earlier this year. OpenAI did a pretty credible iOS app and released ChatGPT Advanced Voice on the iPhone. But then Apple was sort of going to revive Siri, and there was less talk about OpenAI and ChatGPT. But this announcement from OpenAI is a big move forward for AI aficionados and a smart competitive move, especially if you catch the next story in the podcast. So what is it? Well, as Sam Altman said, we love Apple devices, and it shows. You can now invoke ChatGPT directly from the iOS or Mac apps. There are applications that integrate with Siri, with writing tools, and with Apple's visual intelligence. The relationship with Siri is curious. Siri isn't replaced by OpenAI, but Siri can ask OpenAI when things are complex. And there's also direct buttons that allow you to call OpenAI yourself, hitting the Command key twice on a Mac, or the two buttons on the side of the new iPhone can also be used. The iOS integration makes some things possible, like showing a picture from your iPhone and having ChatGPT identify it, search for it, and even provide information about it. It's a big step. Their demo illustrated how ChatGPT takes this a step further than search or identification and provides additional information. Cool example with the Christmas theme. The three presenters, including Altman and his researchers, were part of a contest that they devised for ChatGPT to decide on whose Christmas sweater was the most fun. It was a lighthearted example, but it showed that ChatGPT could apply reasoning to an unstructured problem like relative importance. This means that it had to construct its own relevant criteria and assess even a visual image taken through an iPhone picture. Not only did it do it, but it could explain its reasoning. It was impressive. ChatGPT also integrates with documents on the Mac or the iPhone and can do an analysis of things like a large PDF or other documents. The example in the demo was a 30-plus page PDF of OpenAI's new releases, and the question, remember I told you they use these to really effectively get across their competitive messaging? Of course, their question was, analyze this document and tell us why ChatGPT is so good at coding. Now, in fairness, ChatGPT analyzed the document and came back with a fairly rational argument. Now, this shows the ability of 4.0 to analyze and answer questions, but it also gets their marketing message across. Of course, you need Apple Intelligence for all of this, and they've done Apple a real favor, finally providing some reason why people would upgrade to the new iPhone 16, which had rather lackluster sales, especially in this all-important pre-Christmas shopping time. I have to say, I saw the demo and I almost thought about upgrading my iPhone. Almost. But if you don't have money to burn, take heart, because you can load Apple Intelligence on any Mac that will take the new Sequoia OS, and that includes machines from 2019 and beyond. Now, not to be outdone. Remember when I said, I think yesterday, that Google CEO Sundar Pichai better come up with something really amazing this year to compete with Microsoft's new AI-driven conversational search? At that point, I even hadn't factored in OpenAI's announcement from today. You might also remember that Google said that they're not going to implement anything till 2025, but that's never stopped anyone from announcing something. Now, I'm always suspicious of a demo, particularly a Google demo, given recent experience. But today's announcement of Google's Gemini 2.0, which they called enabling the agentic era with multimodal agents, is impressive. Although they haven't been making a lot of noise about it, Google has been busily working on agents, those specialist AI applications that can think, plan, act, and this is important, in this case, remember. They call it Project Astra, and it's officially presented as a research prototype, which is Google's way of hedging its bets. Astra offers truly multimodal features along with a reasoning capability and, don't forget, memory as well. The actual best example of this was not in Google's official release video, but in another video that I found where a Googler takes a tour of London with an Android phone. The visual identification and search allow you to get facts and analysis on a range of topics, as well as real-time search information. In the tour, the person could take pictures of flowers, for instance, and asked what they were and could they be grown in New York. They later asked a question about a bike route through London, finding their way to their London accommodation, and even remembering the door combination. It really does take the phone to a different level. But Google didn't stop there with their announcement. They also introduced Project Mariner, which adds a whole other dimension to Gemini 2.0. It features agents that can do tasks in multiple steps, planning and reasoning as they go. To show how far this can be taken, one of the examples was called a cross-domain application, where Project Mariner could understand a video game and actually help the person with strategy. This cross-domain application also applies to real-world 3D environments, and Google is claiming that Mariner will enhance the reach and usability of robots and not just software. I said yesterday that having real competition in search was a great thing for users. If Gemini really steps forward, we could see some big competition in AI. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but one thing we should keep in mind is that when competition heats up in the area of autonomous agents, traditionally the first thing to be sacrificed is safety. Just saying. And now for something really different. I don't believe in Santa anymore. As you know, I barely believe in demos, but one thing I hope we can all share in is the non-belief in package delivery messages. Or at least, can we be suspicious? This is a story I'd normally put into cybersecurity today, but two scams are rampant right now. First is a scam that will send you invoices to pay. These guys have done a lot of research. We've seen a couple of them. These invoices will look normal, and some of them will even have an employee's approval of the invoice appended, recommending that they send it to accounting with their real email address. The second, and this is one especially concerning with the postal strike in Canada, but even without that, it's a big deal. With holiday shopping in full swing, scammers are ramping up efforts to trick consumers through fake delivery notifications. These scams, which impersonate the post office, UPS, FedEx, Perlator, whatever, they aim to steal personal and financial information via text and email. These delivery scams, known as smishing, text-based phishing, are on the rise. We talk a lot about cybersecurity and breaches of security and all that, and ransomware and what that costs, but pure fraud is 10 times the size of ransomware. So if ransomware is about $1 billion industry a year, just fraud is about a $10 billion industry, and it is an industry. Now, in this delivery fraud, scammers send messages claiming a delivery issue. They ask you to click a link or provide sensitive information. I will tell you, neither the US Postal Service or the Canadian Postal Service, which is on strike right now, will actually send unsolicited text or emails unless you, the customer, initiate contact. So here's some steps to avoid falling victim to delivery scams. Share them with your family, share them with your friends. One is verify information independently. Avoid clicking on links or texts or emails about missed deliveries. Instead, visit the official website of the delivery service and use their tracking tools provided by that retailer or provided by that sender. 2. Use secure delivery options. Request a signature for deliveries. Use secure lockers or deliver to a workplace or a trusted friend. Avoid leaving packages unattended on your doorstep. 3. Inspect deliveries. Open packages immediately to check for signs of tampering or damage. Now, if you're in the US, the Federal Trade Commission advises consumers to report scam messages. You can forward the text to 7726, spam. You can also file a complaint at reportfraud.ftc.gov. And if somebody has information on what to do in Canada, please let me know. I'll be glad to post it. And that's our show for today. There are links to all the videos I talked about on the show today in the show notes at technewsday.ca or technewsday.com. Take your pick. Just go and look for the podcast page. You'll see the show notes. You can reach me at editorial@technewsday.ca. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a thrilling Thursday.